Hey there, welcome back to Check Your Work math class. Hope you guys are doing well. This is the video to check lesson 94. We start with number 8 on this lesson. Number 8 says that during a sale the shirts were marked down 20%, and then they were, after the markdown, they were $20. We want us to find the regular price before the sale. So it says they were marked down 20%. So I did my original change new, the original percent was 100%. During the sale, things cost 80% of what they originally cost. So it says that the shirt was marked down to $20, so that's the new price. They want us to find the original price. So I would get rid of this category. My proportion would be 100 over 80 is equal to the original price over 20. When you do your cross multiplying, the original price of the item was $25. Number 9, this is our unit multiplier problem. They want us to convert 144 square feet to square yards. So I used my first unit multiplier as 1 yard over 3 feet times 1 yard over 3 feet again. That allowed me to get rid of all my feet, and I'm left with yard times yard, which is yard squared. 144 divided by 9 is 16 yards square. On the B part, they wanted us to change 1 kilometer down to millimeters. So I needed 2 unit multipliers to do that. So I went to meters first. I said 1 kilometer times 1,000 meters is a kilometer. That gets rid of my kilometers. And then I have to multiply times another unit multiplier. 1,000 millimeters is a meter. That gets me down to my millimeters, which is what they wanted us to get to. So 1 times 1,000 times 1,000, 1 million millimeters. Number 10, the author wrote 2/5 of her new book. She's written 120 pages. So 2/5 of her book was done. So I divided my diagram into 5 sections. 2 of those sections are what she had already done, and they said that number was 120. So I said 120 divided by 2 tells me what number goes in each section. So the total pages she needs to write to finish the book is 60 times 5, which is 300. The pages she has left to write is 60 times 3, which is 180. Number 12, they want us to figure out what y is if x is equal to -2. So in this equation, I replace x with -2. I rewrite it. Y is equal to 4 times -2 minus 3. 4 times -2 is -8 minus 3. I could think about this as -8 plus, change this to plus, the opposite of positive 3 is a -3. -8 and -3 make -11. Number 13. It says that the perimeter of a square is 4 yards. So the perimeter is 4 yards, and they want us to figure out the area in square feet. So I said, well, 4 yards is the same thing as 12 feet, because there are 3 feet in every yard. 4 times 3 is 12. So if the perimeter is 12 feet, that means each side measures 3 feet. So if each side is 3 feet, 3 feet times 3 feet is 9 feet squared for the area. Number 14 was a sales tax problem. Okay, so the car costs $18,500. The sales tax rate is 6.5%, so they want us to figure out the sales tax. So I did 18,500 times 0.065. Remember, 6.5%. I got to divide by 100. Bump, bump. That gives me 0.065 that I need to multiply by. When I did all my multiplying, I got 1,202.5 with a bunch of zeros. That means my tax is $1,202.50. B, they want the total price of the car, so I added $1,202.50 to the price of the car, $18,500. Total price of the car, $19,702.50. And then C says if the commission is paid to the salesperson 2% of the sale price. So the sale price was $18,500. 2%, remember, 2% means out of 100, 2 hundredths, 2 hundredths, okay, 0.02. 18,500 times 0.02 is $370. Okay, number 21 was a graphing problem. 21, they give us the function table. They give us that the rule of the function is y equals 3x. So if x is 1, 3 times 1 is 3, y would be 3. If x is 0, 3 times 0 is 0, y would be 0. If x is negative 1, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Then they want us to graph these points. Remember that our xy's become coordinates, okay? So our first one is at 1, 3, then 0, 0, then negative 1, negative 3, and then I draw a line through the points. C says, is this directly proportional? Why or why not? It is, yes, because our graph is a straight line. It goes to or through the origin, okay? That makes it directly proportional. Number 22. Solve this inequality and then graph it on a number line. Well, 2x minus 5 is less than 1, or negative 1 rather. What's happening to the variable, or to the term with the variable? It's being subtracted by 5. How do I undo that? Add 5 on both sides. Negative 1 plus 5, I get 2x is less than 4. Now what's happening to x? It's being multiplied by 2. How do I undo that? I divide by 2 on both sides. So I get x is less than 2. That's the solving part. Okay, now to graph it, I'm going to put an open circle on 2. I'm going to draw an arrow to the left because those are the values less than 2. Number 23 is an interesting one. They tell us that the measure of AOC is half the measure of AOD. Well, AOD is a right angle, so AOC must be 45 degrees if it's half of it. Okay, and then it tells us that AOB is a third of AOD. AOD is 90, a third of that is 30 degrees. So this angle has to be 30, this angle is 45. So AOB, we just found out, is 30 degrees. EOC, that's this one here. If this part is 45, 180 minus 45 leaves me with 135 degrees. 27, A is a collect like terms problem. The only things that are like are positive 3x and negative 2x. Positive 3, negative 2 leave me with a positive 1x. Mrs. Duran wrote the wrong thing in here. I should not say a 2 there. Positive 1x. So our final answer would be 6x squared plus x minus 1. B is a multiplying problem. 5x times 3x minus 5x times negative 4. So 5x times 3x gives me 15x squared. Minus 5x times negative 4 is negative 20x. Here I have a subtraction, so I'm going to add the opposite. 15x squared plus 20x. I cannot combine these. They are not like. Okay, 28. A, negative 8 minus negative 6 minus 4. Divide by negative 3. So I got rid of my subtractions. Okay, so instead of subtracting, I changed subtraction to addition, and then I used the opposite of the next one. Subtraction got changed to addition. I used the opposite of the next one. Okay, now I can add and subtract from left to right. Negative 8 and negative 6 combine to make negative 2 plus a negative 4 gives me negative 6 over negative 3. Negative divided by negative is positive. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Positive 2. Number 29. Oops, 28b, sorry. Negative 5 times negative 4 minus 3 times negative 2 minus 1. We got to do the multiplying before we add and subtract. Negative 5 times negative 4, positive 20, minus 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, minus 1. Now we see I need to change this, right? I'm going to change subtraction to addition. I'm going to use the opposite of this. 20 plus 6 minus 1, 20 and 6 is 26, minus 1 is 25. 29. B squared minus 4ac. If a is negative 1, b is negative 2, and c is 3. So every time I have one of these variables, I'm just going to replace it with these values. And remember, go ahead and use our parentheses to keep everything straight. Okay, so instead of a B, I'm going to use a -2. So -2 in parentheses, I'm going to square it, minus 4 in parentheses, I'm going to put a -1 for A, and then in parentheses, I'm going to put a 3 for C. Okay, so let's do our exponents first. -2 times -2 is +4, minus 4 times -1 times 3 is -3. So then I'm going to do my multiplying here. 4 minus 4 times -3 is -12. I'm going to have a subtraction here, so I'm going to add the opposite. 4 plus 12 is 16. Okay, 30 was about our lesson. Okay, so we have a bag with marbles. 2 of them are red, 3 of them are white, 4 of them are blue. That gives me a total of 9 marbles. So in our first experiment, we're going to draw a marble out, but then we're going to end up putting it back in the bag. They want to know the probability that both are white. Okay, so when I make my first draw, there's 3 whites out of 9 total, but then I put the marble back in the bag. So when I go to pick out the second time, it's the same probability. Okay, and hopefully you see that this is 1/3 times 1/3, which is 1/9. This is an independent probability problem. Okay, our second draw is independent of what happened on the first time. Okay, B is where it gets a little weird. In B, we're not going to put our first marble back. Okay, we still want to know the probability of drawing a white marble. So when I go for my first draw, there are 3 whites out of 9 total. Okay, 3 whites out of 9, and I reduce that to 1/3. Okay, now I've taken that marble out. I'm assuming it's white, and I'm not putting it back in. So now I only have 2 whites, and I only have 8 marbles in the bag. So when I go for my second draw, the probability that I get a white is 2 out of 8, which I reduce to 1 out of 4. So 1/3 times 1/4 gives me a probability of 1/12. And this is a dependent probability problem, because my second draw is dependent on what happened in the first draw. Remember, I did not put the marble back in. So my second draw depends on the fact that I did not replace that first marble. Okay, guys. Hope you did well, and I will see you next time. Bye.